they dart around one of the corners, and just as this is happening, another taxi is pulling up on the other side of the road, and you see this sweet old woman beginning to be helped out of the taxi very slowly.
I'm gonna run over and pull her out bodily, jump in and say, follow that car.
Hello! Welcome to Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and I'll be your keeper of arcane lore for this session, Call of Cthulhu. Today we are continuing Chapter 2 of A Time to Harvest, which you can get your own copy of from chaosium.com. All the previous episodes are available on the Chaosium YouTube, and if you want to join us live, we stream each Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, as long as time zones hold. This is the last session of A Time to Harvest. We're going to be playing in 2021. Given we're approaching the holidays and things, we want to get to a natural conclusion point so we can pick it up again in the new year. But this isn't the last stream we're going to do. Next week, Jim and I are going to be doing a playthrough of the RuneQuest starter set solo adventure, which we co-wrote. I guess it's not really a solo playthrough because we'll both be there, but we should have some fun with it regardless. So if you want to come by and hang out, we can also talk about sort of like Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, and streaming, whatever else is on your mind. It'll just become like a hang session, a chance to chat. And then next week, I could look at a calendar, but the following, we're going to do a nonsense one-shot, which should be a lot of fun. It'll be Call of Cthulhu, and what we're going to be trialing is a whole lot of chat, interaction, mechanic-y things that we've had in the backlines for a while, and we've wanted to give a go. This is the sandbox for you guys to terrorize us, and then we'll see what goes into the campaign after we know it's not going to do too much lasting damage. So come by, sabotage as much as you like, and then we'll try and pick up the pieces for the new year. Then come January, we'll resume A Time to Harvest Chapter 2, as of January 7th. And specific time, it'll be the 8th where we are. I hope that all made sense. If it doesn't, I'm sure there'll be a tweet or something, or, turn up, hopefully we'll be.
Turn up and there'll be some friendly moderators in chat to probably torment everyone.
Equally confused.
Equally, yeah.
Awesome. All right.
You'll have a bunch of channel points saved up, don't you? That's going to go real well.
Yeah,
Me?
exactly.
Oh yeah, like 16k.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We need some big buttons.
Shenanigans willing.
You're not allowed to use them on yourself. We've already nixed that in a previous one. All right.
I'm heartbroken.
Yeah. Thank you to Roll20 and Sirenscape for being great tools, which we use to improve our games. And without further ado, let's meet the cast and jump back into this week's session. So, where we ended last week, the four of you had all gathered in the Orn Library, Miskatonic University, to investigate what it is that these strange returned missing students are getting up to in there. You did some heinous things to books, which there will be retribution for, I'm sure, in the future. But for the time being, it was enough to get Jason Trent escorted to the director's quarters, where he is being sternly lectured. You then intercepted Terrence Laszlo, who went to speak with him further, and Seb and Chaz had a very charming conversation with him, which ended with Chaz stalking outside to lurk in the shadows for an opportune moment. And finally, Joe and Katie distracted Roderick Block, and then were able to steal all of the books that he was investigating, just jamming them into this massive oversized pack, and then swoop away into one of the solitary rooms to begin poring over them. Seb joined you shortly after, and the only isolated investigator is Chaz, who is waiting to intercept Laszlo when he makes his exit. Let's go around the table and introduce each of our investigators and just tell us how you're feeling. How you going? Art, why don't you kick us off?
Hi, I'm Art, and I am playing Sebastian McCarthy, one of the McCarthys at the Miskatonic University. Sebastian is like slightly above average height, slightly above average appearance, kind of rakish, currently a little bit more brooding because he's in a very foul mood. Is one of the wealthier students at university, and is fully aware that leaving Chaz alone is going to result in someone getting hurt. But, you know, if he's not there, then, well, what he doesn't know about isn't his problem.
Yeah, that's right. It's deniable, etc. Is this you have 2 skills, rakish and brooding, and you just slide between the 2 depending on the situation?
Are you asking whether Seb does or whether I do?
Yeah, the character bleeds, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, alright, and today we're higher on the brooding scale. We'll see where the rakish comes in next week. Well, following week, anyway. Alright, perfect. Next up, Jackson.
Oh, hi, that's me. I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Chaz Daybreak, a block of a man who we last saw shaking visibly as the tiny, sniveling worm creature Laszlo was needling him. I think I said it only took all of Chaz's willpower and effort to stay still and do nothing, and that took 100% of his mental faculties.
Yeah, it was took a lot, given he is a nasty little creature. And what I actually wanted to do to check that is to ask you to make a power roll to see if you are able to keep your cool and not let your emotions betray you.
You did tell me I was doing that, and I'll give it a red hot go. What?
That's good. Okay. So you're able to play it pretty cool, and you can kind of like you can swallow the emotions and make sure it's not too transparent. When you leave, for the most part, it seems that Laszlo is none the wiser. You're able to slink outside and take a vantage point. Where are you hiding? When you guys first got in here, it was sort of like early evening. Are you like stalking in a bush somewhere, or is it more like looming under a lamppost?
No, like in the shadows. Like I imagine there's a huge big old staircase in my imagination that leads up to the library.
Oh, absolutely.
So like you can hide in the shadows under there, I reckon.
So you're quite nearby. Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Chaz slinks outside and finds a point to perch. A couple of students are still coming and going. That's always my favorite gag. A couple of students are still coming and going, but Laszlo has yet to exit. Let's go back inside and catch up with James playing Katie.
Yes, absolutely. I am James. I am playing Katie Wilkes, the nerdiest nerd that ever did nerd about in the halls of the Miskatonic University, although she's been up to some very unnerdy things recently, including tearing books and doing all kinds of stuff that could get you in trouble or worse, expelled. Sorry, dead or worse, expelled. I'm feeling, I think, tense, exhilarated as I'm rushing alongside Josephine and just like trying to get into this reading room where I'm planning to dump all of these books down and just start scanning through them as quickly as possible so that we can get away before the long arm of the library law comes crashing down on us.
Have you had any run-ins with the library law before?
I think I have, but always as a snitch, you know. I'm the corrupt cop here, you know. It's I got kicked off the force for what happened out in Cobb's Corners, and now I'm back with a vengeance, and also a pair of glasses, a brand new book bag, and a color-coded diary for all of my little classes.
And you're finally willing to eat chips in the library, like the absolute madman you've become.
That's a great idea. Exactly. You know, let's just throw in something else. Oh God.
Tremendous. Okay, perfect. So Katie goes barreling off, searching for one of the isolated rooms. There's a number on the lower floors, and you find one that's empty. Kick the door open. There's no glass on any of these, but they have like little like check-in locations. Presumably you decline to check in to maintain this masquerade.
I won't check in. I had this really funny image of if there is glass, like running over to a Venetian blind and very slowly going like trying to like shut it really quickly.
That's better for me, actually. Yeah, there's definitely like those long windows that look out so the students can check in. And yep, you find a place, scatter books about, and begin to tear through them. Traveling with her is Alex playing Joe.
Hello, I am Alex, and I'm playing Josephine Johnston. Call me Joe. Joe is here on one of the few students here on a sports scholarship. She's a sprinter. Also is investigating the new sport of roller derby. She's about 6 foot tall, extremely fit. doesn't have a lot of time for messing about and is quite direct, and has helped Katie acquire these books, and would have followed her to the room, was probably the one doing any kicking in of doors if that was required.
Yeah.
And yeah.
How do you feel about her? Are you normally a bit more honorable of the library? I forgot the word I was looking for there. But are you more respectful?
No, probably it doesn't spend a lot of time in the library. Very much a kind of more of a kinetic intelligence rather than book smart. So is at this point looking at the table full of 30 books as Katie, like, with the Venetian blinds, was just looking at this table of books going, I don't know how much help I'm going to be here.
Well, as Katie closes the blinds and as you look at the books across the table, Joe, you'll keep the door open and you'll see Seb moving past and you're able to wave him in. And the three of you gather in one of the isolated rooms. Seb,
Quick
as
question.
you were... Yes, Jackson.
Josephine Johnston.
Johnson, yeah.
Can we or can we not call you Jojo?
Go for it. I mean, I can't promise,
You
the
would get
response will
hit.
be favourable, but you can absolutely call it that.
You can try.
Hell yeah. So Seb, as you're waved over and join Katie and Joe in this isolated room, it's one of the reading areas. Normally there's a bunch of booths where students can study in them, but no one else is in here in this room. The lights are off except for a single, lamp on the side of the wall, which you're able to turn on, and the three of you gather around the book. Seb, as you were coming, you heard Roderick Block summoning librarians, and already they're beginning to gather and sweep back and forth looking for you. It's less SWAT team and more people wandering around looking for you, but it is kind of escalating, and if students have made a runoff with books, they're probably thinking it's a prank or something. They will start taking this pretty seriously, and someone's probably going to go and get at the doors soon and make sure no one can get out. What do the three of you do?
Quick, right? You take these ones over from here. You take this pile. How's your Latin, Joe?
Oh, actually, it's not bad.
Okay, you take this. And it's like, come on, we've only got a few seconds.
Small book with Latin.
Something approachable.
I think Seb picks up one of the newspapers and just goes to. I'm going to assume if there's spaces for students to read, there's some kind of longer lounge where she just sits
100%.
down, pops his feet up, flips open the paper, proper afternoon kind of thing, and is just going to start perusing. Super fucking chill.
So you've got a pile of newspapers and you're on one of the longer chairs. Joe, where do you post up?
I'm going to kind of slide to the floor back against the door, just in case, so that we've at least got a couple of seconds warning.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Brace against the door and just with this little book with Latin in it.
Flicking through it. Katie?
I'm just I'm preparing for the worst. Remember, if they catch us, don't say anything. All right, we can figure out a story later.
You don't need to talk to a cop. You need to talk to a lawyer.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Talking of lawyers, I worked out what my uncle does.
Yep.
He's a lawyer.
That's
what he studied.
Is he the lawyer, one of the staff ones for the Miskatonic University?
Well, that would explain why he's on the ethics board. He's still is here and taught here, but no, he's a lawyer. Yeah,
that is a truly awful job. Imagine being the lawyer for the MU. You're constantly dealing with students
I don't think
turning
he's
into
he's not a
slugs and things.
He's probably more business and contract law. So he's the one that deals with when Fed Oil and Chemical were yo, we want to sponsor this. He was all right, well here's how the agreement's gonna work. This is what we're responsible for. So that's his thing.
I really like that.
That's why he was so evasive about giving you the answer about why it was approved, because he approved it. He's worried you're gonna sue him.
His stamp somewhere on there.
Yeah, but it also makes sense where I was saying the McCarthys are either doctors and or politicians, and I feel law and politics go pretty closely together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So as you all post up and begin to go through these books, can I get each of you to make a library use roll?
Probably not.
Hey.
Can I just do Latin?
You can do Latin. I'm going to specify you to a single thread of information, but if you succeeded, it might be something that they wouldn't catch otherwise.
Well done.
Because I'm marginally better at Latin than...
Laconic newspaper perusal is something that Seb's very good at.
Oh, hey, is that an extreme a success and a hard success? Oh, we've lost my freaking camera.
Just avoiding giving us information on the critical points.
Everyone be cool.
Actually,
There we go.
I will take this opportunity to be like, Jim,
I just didn't restart.
name.
Oh God!
Oh, your
yes.
name in chat, yeah. So I can still be heard, so you know we're getting warmer. So with a success, you'll notice a few things. This is a wide spread of information. It covers medical, historical, and geographic books. There we go, got it. And there's no clear link between them beyond casting a very, very wide net. You all begin to sort of like pull different things, and you start calling out like what you might perceive to be connections to one another. And you slowly begin to get together that this is a list which is being collected. Who got the extreme? Okay. Seb, you find a piece of paper tucked away inside one of the books, which has handwritten notes on it. It's not immediately clear whose handwriting it is, but it's neat and a very ordered list, and it has all of the books which you have here, as well as several others that were probably examined throughout the day, and a number of them have been crossed off, and then some of them amongst that have been circled. Working off of that, you're able to isolate the books that you look into closely to the ones that have been circled, and you find a thread of theoretical or cutting-edge technology, as well as allusions to some sort of strange presence in high places throughout the globe. Examples include the Pyrenees and the Himalayas. As soon as this is noticed, Katie, this pings in your head. One of the destinations Michael Abelard traveled to, the founder of Federated Oil and Chemical, was the Pyrenees. Lastly, Seb, you find one of the newspapers has a piece torn from it, and you can't find it immediately. Then you find it tucked away inside one of the other books, and it seems to be an isolated handout, which I will share with you.
Oh, this is real.
Now.
Handouts.
I will take it for getting.
I was feeling kind of bad about not following Chaz and getting the punch on, but this is more exciting than punching.
Kind of worked out pretty well, yeah.
There's nothing more exciting than learning.
Library use in Call of Cthulhu. It is how you get the plot.
What a damn
Discovering
concept.
the joy of learning.
Joe, under Latin, you find a much older book, which has references to incredibly advanced medical study, and it is specifically related to the safe removal of internal organs and storage. And this is information that is way ahead of its time, and by the date on this book, it's sometime in like 100 further even years ago. Seems to be well out of the traditional passage of such things. I am sharing a handout with you now, and given that you found it, could I please ask you to read it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, we have June 12th, 1921, the Bennington Banner. Family found dead in Vermont. Yesterday, the bodies of Luann Clark and her two sons, Simon and Samuel, aged 9 and 7 respectively, were found at a campsite at the base of the Green Mountains. Police speculate that the family had been murdered over a week ago by an unknown assailant. According to the locals, the Clark family arrived in the small town of Cobb's Corners on June 4th, prior to going on a fishing, camping, and hiking vacation in the forest surrounding the town. As for Keith Clark, the husband and father of the slain family, no trace of him has been found at the scene of this terrible crime. Police continue to search the woods for evidence and have made a call for Mr. Clark to come forward to assist with their inquiries. Technically, I know it wouldn't have been British, but newsreader voice.
Always the voice.
You
So
gotta go for the transatlantic accent.
I was doing my
Getting
best.
Old on your old newsreels.
Hello, it probably should have been a bit more, but that's fine.
so from this single article seems to have been torn out of another piece of paper, and then the rest of the newspapers have been discarded. This was being sought for or something, and was going to be preserved. I'll pass it back to the three of you guys. You can hear the librarians beginning to close. You think you've gotten the bulk of the information. What do you do from here?
I'm going to pocket the book list and the newspaper clipping. And I will obviously point out to, like, I'll read it to everyone and then also be like, it's kind of weird, this was, a decade ago. Anyway.
Okay.
That's kind of weird. Listen to this, and I'm going to read out the thing about like safe removal of organs in Latin from like 100 century ago.
Extremely disturbing.
We've got what we need. I think we can get from here. Come on, let's get out as quickly as we can. But as we turn to leave, do any of us have any Cthulhu Mythos points? I don't think I grabbed it.
Cult.
Okay,
So
never
a cult
mind.
at this point.
Never
You could
mind.
try a
Okay.
cult.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I would say if you're gonna roll anything further here, you'd be like lingering. At this point, you can feel, can like the next door. You hear them begin to go down doors. There's one of the librarians knocking on it. They open it. A couple of students go, oh, I'm sorry, we're still studying, and they go, library is closing. If you could please make your way out. You also haven't seen another group of students come through this way, have you? They're getting closer. What do you do with all the books?
Fucking leave them there.
Yeah, I'm literally pocketing the list and the newspaper clipping because A, neither of those things are going to be something they're looking for, and B, they are small and easy to pocket. And then I'm going to just like slip my jacket on, fold the newspaper, put it down, and say, well, I am going to go and have a word with Blaine's fraternity.
Good idea.
I'm coming with you.
All right, well.
Blaine can we need to find him.
Okay, I'll find Chaz and catch him up to date. And I'll quickly grab the books and I'm just gonna put them like in a pile on one of the chairs, just so it looks like ostensibly like they might have been placed there and overlooked. So there's no real disguise to it. It's just so that they're not obviously like laid out so that we were studying them.
Yep, you just neatly stack them. You're well practiced at that. And then the three of you file out the door and begin to walk. So there is a librarian posted at the front doors watching as people come and go. That is the only entrance or exit that you know of, at least. What are you doing? Are you just heads down and walking out confidently?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of walk faster than everybody else to get there first and kind of indicate that we should like split up and not try and go out together.
Okay.
I will wander off towards the like occult section and go and like pick up one of the books that I have been seen to be reading for the last week. We'll just open it up, flick a few pages, and then once I've given Joe and Katie a few moments, we'll make my way down to the desk and ask to loan the book out, as I have been doing.
Okay, sure. From the upper levels, you see all the lights turn off, and there's only one left on in the director's office. You see, just as you're about to leave, Joe, Block has circled around and is going through another set of doors, and you see Laszlo beginning to make his way down the largest stairs, not having spotted you, and heading towards the exit himself. Joe, you're heading out first?
With the idea that, if the librarian talks to me, at least Katie can kind of bail while I'm talking to the librarian.
Sure. So you walk out, and the librarian will say, "Excuse me, could I just see your bag, please? If you could open it up."
Of course. And then I'm gonna like pretend that I'm struggling with the closure on it, and I've put new buttons on it, and they're just I should have made the buttonholes bigger, like indicating for Katie to kind of just go through if she can.
Perfect.
There we go. And open the book bag, and there is 2 apples and nothing else.
Just rattling around in the middle of it.
No books.
I
don't do the book thing. And
she looks through it, and she will have a cursory glance, and she says, "Look, I'm sorry for this, but you understand there's been some recent pay it no mind. You weren't eating these in here, were you?"
There's also like a pair of socks that really needs to be washed, and it smells bad.
The whole thing's pretty unappealing.
It's pretty bad. No, you don't eat in a library.
Okay, good. All right. You can go right through. Katie, do you want to make a break for it at this period?
Yeah, I will have made a break from what I've done is I've taken out one of my like math books, and I'll have it, which I can remember doing as a kid when you just walk around with your nose in a book, but as if I'm dead to the world, but in reality I am timing things and I'm church massing it through there.
Do you want to make a stealth roll with a bonus dice, please?
A stealth roll with a bonus dice coming up. So the first one is a failure, but within luck range. The second one will bring that in range. So that
Okay,
is
that's a success. Joe, as you're talking, Katie goes right past, brushing out the doors. And Katie, as you're darting down the marble steps, you can see Napoleon the Mastiff stirring into life, stretching out. And as he gets out, he's a big dog. And he sort of like watches you lazily as you go and then sits down, now much more attent to the world around him. You head out on the steps, Joe shortly behind you, and as you gather in the cooling night air, you can see students beginning to make their way back towards their dormitories, and the sun has set. Darkness washes over the campus. Seb, what are you doing inside?
Just pretty much what I said I was doing. I'm gonna pick up one of the books that I've been reading that I've like. Is there anything that I now, with that information, are there any books that I've been looking at in the library that I think actually are worth having a better, like, closer study of with that new information?
Sure. You don't have a ton of time. They're closing the library and they're kind of washing through and kicking everyone out. Do you want to take out the list and try and find something on it of note to check out, or do you not want to risk sort of hanging around too long?
No, it's... If there's something that I already have been looking at that might be helpful, I will gravitate towards where I know that book is because I haven't taken out everything. If not, for the purposes of keeping up appearances, I will just go and pick one of the books that I have been looking at in the library and head down to the desk to check it out, just because, you know, that's what I do in a library.
Nothing jumps out. So you grab one of the books that had some nominal interest, tuck it under an arm and make your way down the stairs. Joe and Katie left a little while ago, and when you get there, you can place in front of the librarian. She will get you to sign a piece of paper just saying that it's with you and when it's expected to come back. And then she will say, and you haven't got anything else with you, do you?
No, what do you mean? Any other books?
No other books or anything, that's right.
No.
Could I get you to make a persuasion, charm, or fast talk roll?
Let's go with... Let's go charm. It's just like affability as always. Yeah.
Not a remote issue. You brush it off. You're very charming, and you sort of just like turn it into a small conversation. She passes the book back towards you, and she says, "Well, you know, you can never be too careful. You have a good night, Mr. McCarthy." And you head out down the stairs, past the dog, and into the night air.
I will like tip an imaginary hat and say, "Evening, Napoleon," as I walk through.
Dog watches you pass, but his eyes are pretty closely fixed on the entranceway. Outside, Chaz, you've seen each of these people leave one by one. You had a short period before anyone exited, where you just watched the other students going, and you've kind of, if you want it, you've had a moment to begin to cool off. Are you stoking the fires of vengeance, or are you letting the night air and the crickets on campus begin to ease your mind?
That's a good question. No, that was a pretty fucked up thing to say, Laszlo.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna take it down. And, well, okay, here's the thing. I think, yeah, there's a good chance that the night air would have calmed him down after he got some air. But then he thinks back to that night we played Truth or Dare and about how Seb told Chaz what Laszlo said about his family. And so that's the cincher. That's when Chaz realizes that Laszlo's gonna die tonight.
All right, and with that, you see Katie come down the stairs. She like looks around for you, but doesn't spot you, and begins to head out across the grounds a little bit. Joe's not far behind her, and after a beat or two, Seb follows, and the three of them are gathered nearby. I think for the three of you, your plan was to travel from here. Some of you were going to the Delta Phi fraternity, and Katie, you were going to go see if you could find Chaz.
This is good information. I think we have a bit here. And what happened to the other students in the previous expeditions, what happened to us, it's happened before and it's happened at other places. And we know these mountain locations now, and we know that Blaine was looking into some of these mountain locations. And then we have the pictograms. There's shapes here. I'm gonna go find Chaz. The two of you, if you said you wanted to go to the fraternity?
Ms. Wilkes, just a thought. Perhaps Dedrick could use a little time to calm down.
Oh, he's the last time I saw him, he was heading over to. Did something happen?
We had a minor run-in with Laszlo, so
That little weasel.
that little weasel, yes. So while I'm sure it's nothing to be worried about, he does have the unnerving capacity to get under one's skin.
Well, I mean, that probably means we should do everything we can to find him, right? I bet he's gone to the geology labs. He's a man of action. He's probably going to try and break into the downstairs or something like that.
I mean, if you want to go and check the geology labs, Miss Wilkes, I believe you are yourself and Ms. Johnson are the people to do so. So
I can go to the geology labs, and if I don't find him, I can always come and meet you at. I don't really know where the fraternities hang out. Is there like a?
Oh, it's
Really? You haven't seen the parties?
like-
You haven't seen that? You haven't heard really, you can hear them like the whole way across campus. They're not quiet.
I sleep with headphones, and technically they're using the wrong Greek symbol, so I got a little confused. Anyway, look, I don't get directions and make sure that I can catch up with you.
Okay, so you're going to where are you heading to, Katie? Towards the geology, the science annex.
The science annex, which we know that downstairs, some of the mysterious students were meeting with one of the professors, and there was some discussion about maybe trying to get in there. So I think it's funny if Katie thinks that Chaz is trying to break in there.
Yeah, and kind of tracks too. Okay,
Yeah.
Katie.
Did we see Laszlo coming out?
Not yet.
No. Yeah.
Not yet. Katie darts off towards the science annex, and Seb Joe, you're heading towards the fraternity. Is that the plan? Okay. You make your way down, cutting across West College Street. Thank you, this map. And making your way past some of the larger buildings. Sorry, not larger buildings, actually the smaller ones, sort of like just homes reclaimed, and towards the fraternity, which already you can hear the occasional cheer coming from. Chaz. You settle
Let's
in.
go, Dave.
And you begin to
Go.
wait. What's rumbling around that little head of yours?
Terrible, violent thoughts. Well, I think he's going to spend the time thinking about all the creative ways he could hurt Laszlo without making it obvious. Like, you can punch people in a certain way so that the bruises are mostly hidden, or you can not bruise them entirely. Like, he's going to mess him up, but if, the faculty catches wind, then it's going to cause more problems than it's worth. So, now I'm thinking of maybe not just physical violence, but what kind of emotional kind of torture I could put him through. Like we could go like a high building and I can hold them over the ledge or something. I could like tie a rope around them and like drag him across the football pitch, something like that. Yeah,
A lot of good options.
There's gonna be some creative ways to make sure he knows who's in charge here.
Yeah, a lot of good options. So as you settle in and begin to watch people come and go, you see your fellows gather outside on the quad and then split up. Katie heading across to what you can pretty easily tell is the science annex. Seb and Joe, it's less clear. They begin to head across town and you wait. After a little while, you will see Roderick Block open the doors, and as he looks out, he walks down the steps and begins to wait not that far from you, looking across the campus towards another figure which is approaching from the distance. I don't need a stealth roll at this point. He's not looking for you. He's not suspicious, and you're lurking in the shadows. Flashing under the lights, you see the figure approach, and then Professor Roger Harold steps out and into the glow of the Orn Library. He says to Roderick, good evening, Roderick. They're inside. And Block goes, yeah, I think Trent's in trouble. He goes, okay, well, let's see what we can do. And they both step back up the stairs heading into the library. Do you continue to wait?
I do. Sorry, is that Professor
Roger Harold. He's the one who signed
Harold?
off on
Harold?
the
Yes, indeed.
the expedition.
Anthropology.
That's him.
What was
indeed.
that question?
They head inside, and a couple of like miscellaneous students depart. And by this point, the library will be pretty empty. The main lights turn off on the stairs going up or down, and then the door swings open, and you get the hit of cologne first from Laszlo, and then he walks out onto it and surveys the area. Can you please make a stealth test with a bonus dice? I am going to roll. Actually, you passed the power. You just need a normal.
Excellent. Stealth. Ooh. That's all, but let me try the bonus die. Yeah, 6 points of luck.
Okay, spent. Laszlo looks around the area and steps down, his footsteps clacking on the marble, and then begins to head across campus towards one of the northern roads. He's walking right across the quad.
Fantastic. I am the knight.
You begin to follow.
Yeah, I'm going to follow him. You know, I got all these violent thoughts running through my head, but at the same time, I do want to know where he's going, because we've found out that these forest creatures in skin suits aren't going back to the dormitories anymore. So I do want to know where he's going, but when I get a sense of the destination, I'll stop him before he gets there, if that works.
Yeah. You follow him across the quad. You're avoiding all the lamplight, like crouching behind benches and things, and then occasionally just walking upright, knowing that you'll only be seen as another silhouette passing in the darkness. Laszlo on the other side, hand strides confidently and quickly across the center of the campus, under the tall, leaning bell tower, and towards the northern road, where he stands under a lamp and waits. Cars pass in the distance, and then one begins to approach.
Well, if he's meeting someone, I can't beat him up before the meeting. So I'll have to continue to observe and hope he doesn't get in the car.
The car pulls up towards the side. It's a fairly nice automobile and new. I don't have any more information for you on that. It's like a city car. Stepping out from the driver's seat is Louis Gibbons, who looks towards Laszlo and says, "Ready?" And Laszlo goes, "Let's get this over with." Opens the passenger door and steps into it. And then can you make a listen roll as the engine flares again?
Well, okay. I didn't think this all the way through. Obviously, I didn't think you'd get in a car.
Pushing this.
Quite luckable.
So here's what pushing might look like.
points.
If you're interested, the engine flares and they begin to drive away. You can hear him say something. You could step out right next to it and assume that they'll go too quickly to spot you, and you might be able to catch a sly word. But if you fail, they will spot you before they leave.
I think that's worth it.
Okay, go ahead and push that roll.
I want to know where they're going. I'm gonna regret this.
Oh.
Not a fumble.
They say something, but it's caught by the wind, and as you step out under the light, you see Laszlo's eyes flash in the rearview mirror, staring right at you, and he winks. And then the car out of town, or out of the street and heading north. It's much too fast for you to follow easily. That said, you could be like, "I need your bike," and pump some kid off a push bike and follow after.
It's the dead of the night. How many taxis are roving around Arkham?
It's not none. Do you want to give me a luck roll?
Yeah.
Give me a luck roll.
You've become the knight. Just call the Batmobile in.
He just had to wing.
As they dart around one of the corners, and just as this is happening, another taxi is pulling up on the other side of the road, and you see this sweet old woman beginning to be helped out of the taxi very slowly.
I'm gonna run over and haul her out bodily, jump in, and say, "Follow that car."
You sprint across the road towards this person. The lady's just going like, "Oh, so sweet of you. And in this day, I'm here to see my grandson. Would you believe he's at university?" Grab her, get the hell out of the way, woman. Can you give me a social check? I could take intimidation.
Oh yeah. Follow that car.
The woman like teeters onto the street, her bag sprawled, and you slide in, slam the car closed, and the taxi driver, who's already been paid, goes, "Hey man, it's a commission." Moves around, gets in, the engine flares, and you begin to rotate round a painfully slow U-turn, and then begin to move, going in the direction where you saw Laszlo going. As you come out and turn onto the street, you see another car in the distance turning out onto a northern highway heading out of Arkham, and the driver turns to you and says, "So, what are we doing here?"
Just follow it. Just follow it. Just don't let it out of your sight.
Sure. I mean, are we heading out of town? Because I charge more for that sort of thing, and it's late. My shift ends soon.
We're heading where they're going. I'm good for it. Just get me there.
All right, man. He pulls the wheel around. You begin to follow them, heading out on a long road out of Arkham. Okay. And we'll park Chaz there for the time being.
Take out
Holy shit.
a scrap of paper and write down Seb's name and address. Ready to hand that to the driver as soon as we get out.
Okay. Awesome.
Right.
Because that's all I got.
What address?
Yeah. How much money do you have
Like
again?
the dorm.
$1.50.
Dorm room.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I guess that tracks. All right. Tremendous. Let's check in on Katie. So Katie, you scurry across campus. This all hasn't happened yet, so you make your way towards the Charles Tyner Science Annex. The building is locked up at this point. And making their way around, you see an older watchman. He's got a little baton that he's twirling, whistle, torch, and occasionally he's just checking one of the rooms, and he just idly leans over and checks like one of the windows to make sure it's locked. He's not doing all of them. It's not super consistent. It's more just a general presence on campus. There's not a ton of security. In a slower week, there would be literally like just one guy who makes the rounds. But given this is rush week and kids have a tendency to do dumb shit, they've upped the presence a little bit more. And there's a couple of people moving around the whole campus. He heads past the doors. What do you want to do?
Might I possibly know, because I genuinely spend a lot of time in that building as a student, that Professor Learman likes to smoke, and therefore the entryway on the roof is always left open, or something of the sort.
Yeah.
Or a window, or a whatever.
You could make a. I think it'd just be luck, but it's gonna be hard.
Okay. Well. It's worth a quick shot, and just maybe off chance. Let's see how I go. That's a hard success on luck.
Yeah. I mean, it's less that what you would probably know is that of all of these windows, the kids have a tendency to crack them open so that they can like just get a breeze in. And if this guy's checking all of them, there's bound to be one or two that are unlocked. And if he makes his way around, you can go the other way and begin to check along them, trying every one until you find one which is unjammed. You will find one. That's not an issue. There's plenty of them that will get you inside the building. But what I need first is a stealth roll, just a straight roll.
Okay, God, Katie, what have you become? Apparently not enough.
You get towards the building and you begin the window, and you pry it open. You can see inside to one of the rooms. You haven't begun to enter yet when one of the watchmen picks you up and begins to just walk over. Not hostile, just heading in your way. You have not gotten in yet.
I'll wave him over.
Okay. He heads across and he says, "Evening, miss. What exactly are you doing over here?"
Hello. Sorry, I'm one of the students from here, and I was just checking around. I've got classes in this building, and I think I might have left something down in the laboratories. I really needed to study.
Look, after class and things, I need a professor's note for you to get inside here. Or you have made prior arrangements.
Could you walk me down? I just need to take a really, really quick look. I think even Professor Learmon's probably picked it up. I'm certain it's in his office. I don't need to stay down there. Could you just walk me down really quick, and I can point it out if it's there?
Make charm. Does that suit?
I'm trying to do a fast talk, but I can make a charm if
about
it. But yeah, I'll take charm if you think it's more appropriate.
No, I think fast talk suits. That's okay.
Perfect.
Yep. Okay.
I might luck that. It's a lot of luck, but I think it's worth it here to get downstairs.
Success will get it, and failure on fast talk will be just like you're lying to him, and he's like, don't try and blame me. Okay. You kind of bundle him in, and he puts his hands up in like mock yielding, and immediately like is not nearly as aggressive, or not that he was really that aggressive to begin with. He goes like, whoa, it's all right, miss. I'll walk you down. Is your name going to be on the list inside to have permission to get in?
Yeah. I'm a student. You'll have classes. I'm having the laboratory. You can.
Okay.
You
well,
can
hey, it's all good, all right? You kids need your study. He fishes out a ring of keys, unlocks the door, and you follow him through the empty corridors towards the elevator at the back. When he gets to the security desk, there's no one posted there. He leans behind it, finds a list, and runs a finger down it. And he goes, "What was your name again?"
Miss Wilkes.
Katie Wilkes. Okay, that'd be Katie.
Actually, I say Miss Wilkes. I go to say Katie, and then I don't say it.
Violet would not have permission to go down here, given she's on medical. Medicine, so she will be in a different section. She would be starting. Sorry, hang on 1 second. Just because I've got it, she would be at because there's the hospital, the St. Mary's Teaching Hospital on campus. Is where they have classes and labs. So he runs a finger down and goes, "What is your full name? Is it Catherine?"
Yeah, Catherine Wilkes.
Yeah, so you go, Catherine Wilkes. Very good. All right. He heads to the lift, opens it, and you both step in and begin to descend. Rattles a bit, and then when it gets to the bottom and opens up, you can see light peeking out from under Professor Learmont's door in the distance. Turns and he goes, "Working late then, huh?"
I guess so. It might be. It sounds like it looks like he's here. Do you mind if I just nip over to talk to him, and then I'll come straight back out?
Sure, not an issue. He continues to walk with you up towards.
Okay. Sure. All right. Damn it! I was hoping he'd leave. I'll walk over to Learmont's office. Not quite ready for this sudden escalation, but here we are.
You get to the front of it. He's just sort of walking along beside you, making idle conversation, but the guard is very much with you for this period.
Yep.
You get to the front of the door.
Yep. I was not expecting this. I knock.
Okay. You knock for a moment. And then after a beat, it opens. Professor Learmont is looking at you. He is a very fair-haired man, thinning almost, so it like puffs up quite a bit on the top, and he keeps it brushed back. Dressed neatly, but with the tie sort of like undone now. It's a little later in the night, and his jacket's been removed and placed somewhere else inside. He opens it and he goes, "Katie, how are you? Come inside. Come inside." He looks to the guard and he goes, "We can take it from here." Katie, why are you here?
Certainly, and I'll step in. Can I make a quick psychology check? It's meeting some of the people who have, to use Chad's lingo, been possessed by the forest skinwalker things. They're a little off. Mm-hmm. There's something a bit weird about them. Can I make a psychology check to determine whether Professor Learmont is also a little bit off?
Sure. I'm gonna correct my language a little bit too on what I just said. He would say, "Why are you here?" first, rather than like trying to get you inside immediately. So he goes like, "Katie, why are you here?" The guard will say, "She said she had some books downstairs," and he goes, "Well, that's no mind. Katie, why don't you come in?" He turns to the guard and says, "She can take it. I can take it from here." Make a psychology roll.
No.
Seems good to you. You pause for a little bit in between. He goes, "Katie, come inside."
Yeah, okay, I'll come inside.
He thanks the guard and closes the door behind him, and you hear footsteps receding. No one else is in this room.
All right.
He turns, he walks through the thing. You can see he's only got a couple of lights on some of the side tables. There's experiments and notes and things. And this is the same laboratory you study in during the day. Towards the back is his office, which the lights are on inside. And you can see paperwork scattered about. He turns around and he hops up on one of the lab desks and does like a cool like teacher lean, like with one leg over it, and turns to face you and goes, "So, Katie, you forgot something in class?"
Sort of. It's more, I think I'm kind of like almost stuttering. I think that this is much of a situation that Chaz had before with, trying not to deck Laszlo, where Katie here is trying not to just completely succumb to authority and just reveal everything and just be like, "Look, I just really need to talk to you. I need to be honest. Here's the whole situation." Because she kind of did that with the journalist at Cobb's Corners, and it ended up kind of working. But just as a minor thing, he was working pretty actively. Can I glance just across his desk and see if I can pick up any information about what he might be doing?
Sure. What are you saying as you do this? So the conversation kind of progresses, and you swing around and try and get a peek into the room. I'm probably gonna need basically a what are you talking about? What's your ruse? Because you didn't leave anything here.
Yeah. I'm going to start saying that. Look, I was trying to get downstairs. I thought I'd left something, but I actually figured out when I was on the lift ride down. Maybe I've got. But I really just wanted to ask you some questions. I'm particularly struggling with some of the assignments that we had after being at Cobb's Corners. You know, I really wanted to talk, and I'm going to start throwing out like geology jargon as if I actually have questions for him, because I would be one of his students.
Sure. So okay. Do you want to give me a fast talk roll, and then you can try and get a peek inside the side room.
That is a success. I can give you a hard if that would.
That'll do it. He doesn't seem too fazed by anything, and when you start asking him questions, he can re-clarify any points that were made earlier in class, and he seems to be happy to help. That said, there is kind of the sense of like, these aren't super important questions, and it's strange that you've come down here late at night just to clarify these things. Although it's long enough for you to get around the corner and take a look inside his office, where you can see there are piles of papers, amongst them several stamped with the orange Federated Oil and Chemical logo, and towards the back you can see what appears to be a newly installed safe.
Okay.
He sees you sort of like swing around. He doesn't necessarily clock you staring inside immediately, but he does hop off the thing and walk over towards his office, and he clicks the door closed. And he says... Well,
was he locking me in or
No. He's just kind of closing the door so you can't see inside his office any further. Okay. He walks over and clicks the door closed and says... Listen, Katie, any other questions? I'm sure I can take up in class, but for the time being, I do have work I need to get back to. If there's nothing more important, I'll bid you good night.
That's okay. Thank you so much. And I'll start walking away. And once I'm far enough away that I can hopefully like dart to the stairs or something, I will or to the elevator, I guess it would be. I'll turn back for just a kind of. Oh, by the way. Did you know that, I'm going to just quickly remind myself of his name, the head of Oil and Chemical?
Michael Abelard.
And Michael Abelard. Did you know that when Michael Abelard visited the Pyrenees, I think that everything changed for the future of Oil and Chemical based on that trip. And I want to eye him and see if anything pings on him.
Make a psychology roll. Immediately his eyebrows raise and he goes, Miss Wilkes, you've been doing some independent research. And he takes a few steps towards you.
Oh dear. Hard success on the psychology.
He seems to be impressed that you've taken some of this upon yourself, and you do not get... It doesn't appear to be particularly hostile. Not at the moment. He walks across and you actually for a moment kind of have like your heart flutters, and then he kind of goes into like a completely normal conversation. He stops well away from you so that you still have like control of the conversation. You can dart away if necessary. And he then begins to talk about, you know, I always knew Mr. Abelard was a bit of an explorer himself. He still imagines himself a pioneer. I think he likes to get out into the field and really get a sense for it. It's what had encouraged him to fund our little expedition. So I have to say we thank him for it.
It's funny, though, that he gave us tests that can't be filled, you know? Impossible.
Oh! No, they're not impossible, Katie. That's just the thing. There's a miracle material. That's what we're looking for here.
I found some, I know. But by all common sense...
You found some?
Impossible, yeah.
Do you have it with you? Is that why you came down here? Are you just trying to lead up to this, Katie?
I suppose, sort of, but I have a lot of it. Some back at my office, some I've sent off. I'm trying to get independent research, like you said.
Katie, what do you mean you sent it off?
Oh, I needed to get it looked at by others, make sure that what I had was important.
Katie, this was a school project funded by a larger company. You can't just send things off. Katie, we could get in quite a bit of trouble if you've just sent this off. This was funded by a very large and powerful company. They have lawyers and things. This was their material.
You're not going to tell them, are you?
Katie, you've put me in a fairly precarious position. You know better than this. Surely you know you can't just fire these things away willy-nilly. There's a process. We needed to research it. We've been allowed to look into this on behalf of Federated Oil and Chemicals, sure, but it's their project.
I'd be surprised if Federated Oil and Chemical would want to, dive in too close to the exact itemization on what happened on the trips, given, everything.
Oh, Katie, I understand you and your friends had a bit of a rough bout, but it all came good in the end. Everyone returned. Look, keep your head down.
Previous to.
Yes, well, that was unfortunate. Certainly, I'm well aware. But when they returned, that was Professor Harold's a dear friend, but that was a mistake, and they should have had closer oversight. At the end of the day, though, this element, what's being researched, this is important, Katie, and they'll take this quite seriously. Can you tell me where you sent it? If we can get it back, we can try and we can fix this. All right, Katie, I am trying to help you. I promise you, I'm trying to help.
How about we set up a time to have lunch tomorrow, and I'll tell you everything. It's a bit late now.
Sure. Yes, let's do lunch tomorrow then. What about the little cafe on the corner? I'll meet you there at 12. Okay. He steps back and lets you leave.
Great.
As you get to the door, you get to the door and open it. He does say, one more thing. Have you spoken with Professor Harold recently?
No, I haven't.
No, nor have I. Not so much. Listen, let's talk further tomorrow. Good evening, Miss Wilkes. We'll fix this. I promise we'll fix this.
Okay, thank you. And I will hurriedly depart.
Okay. You head out and hurry towards the elevator. The door closes behind you, and you see Professor Learmonth return to his study. Okay. Outside, heading towards the fraternity, Seb and Joe. You guys make your way down the street and begin to approach what is known as the Mansion. The Delta Phi fraternity has taken over an old sort of multi-story, white-fronted colonial-era home. It has beautiful gardens towards the front, and it very much has a locked gate. They're a bit touchy about who gets on, and unless you are a member or the, close friend or invitee of the member, you can't get inside. And there is actually a bona fide dressed up valet that needs to be summoned down to open the gate and let you in. That said, there's a lot of shrubberies that grow quite close to the wall, and if you want to do some ninja shit, I'll leave that in your court. What do you guys want to do? As you approach, you can see that lights are on and there is an event being held, but no one is coming and going. It is 10 p.m. At this point.
You were invited to this shindig, weren't you?
Was I? No, I doubt it. No,
Not directly,
no, I'm not yet.
Uh,
I don't frequent any of the fraternities at this point in time. They, yeah. Just trails off.
Really? I would have thought it would have been absolutely up your alley.
Miss Johnson, I have money, but that doesn't necessarily mean I need to flaunt it. It's not...
No, I just mean that that's kind of all the people you're supposed to know and
They
fraternize with to get anywhere and all of that.
Well, two things. One, fraternization, it's generally referred to as socializing. And it is something I don't generally desperately need to do. However, most fraternities don't take first years, so this would literally be the first opportunity I have to join such a thing.
Right. So how are we getting in then?
I was going to knock on the door.
They don't let girls in, do they?
No, that would be a sorority. Fraternity specifically means brotherhood.
Right.
For specific events, they might allow women in as dates or invitees, or guests rather, but they are not members, no.
I assume you were asking as membership, not as.
I'm just inside.
Oh.
Otherwise, what am I doing here this evening? I mean, I'm just gonna like look at the walls like, it's not that high.
No, I mean, you're welcome to try, and I will certainly do my best to keep people occupied if that is your bent. Alternatively, should we be allowed into whatever revelry is happening, I'm sure I could take you in as...
Yeah, give it a whirl, see what happens. Worst case scenario, just again, like assessing the barrier. Yeah. Nah, should be right.
Well, we'll see how this goes. And I will ring whatever ye old bell they have. Probably literally a bell.
Ding, 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 ding. Joe, do you step out of sight?
Nope.
Okay.
Not yet.
The two of you are standing directly there when a valet begins to make their way down from the upper house towards you. He's dressed in full tails and top hat, the whole bit, and he has in front of him a small clipboard as he skirts down towards you. As he opens the door, you can hear like a roar of laughter from the house itself, and then when he approaches towards you, he goes, "Good evening. Are you on the list?"
No, I don't think I am. However, I was hoping to find an opportunity to be so. Is that something that I can speak to someone about this evening?
I'm sorry, sir. This is a closed event. If you're interested in joining, you can come back another time. I'd suggest daylight hours. And he turns and begins to head back towards the house very rudely.
The valet is played tonight by Lord Michaels, of course.
Seb will just say, that's an awful shame, because I did have a personal invitation from Robert Jarvis to stop by and discuss joining the fraternity when I next had a moment available, which I did actually have.
You did. Can you make...
It was Robert Jarvis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Can you make... Dun, 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 dun. I can see persuasion, or I can see hard credit rating. Probably hard either, actually. So dealer's choice.
All right, let's go persuade. Let's see how we go.
Okay, go for it. Unfortunately, he turns and he says, "Then you'd be on the list." And he departs.
Well, that went well.
When he returns to the doors, he turns and you can see him kind of like, not watching, but he's just looking in the direction to make sure you don't do anything really obvious. Yeah, he sees you. He just shakes his head, ignores you.
Well, I'm not in desperate need to do this evening. I'm sure I can come back tomorrow. It seems like the kind of place we go about this in the correct way. I don't particularly want to ruin my chances of doing this the right way until I have burnt literally every bridge available to me.
Fair enough. I'm not dressed for a party anyway.
Looking at your sports uniform.
She's into jersey
apple.
shorts and yeah. Oh no, we're not opening that bag again. That was stanky.
Well, do you require dinner, Ms. Johnson? I know it's a little late, but you do seem to have a propensity for eating.
We can do it again. Yeah.
Well,
should we? I'm a little worried about Chaz. Like just a little bit.
Chaz
Isn't he like
probably
borderline getting kicked out at?
They're all borderline.
Let me get you dinner, and I'll explain.
All right.
I assume there's some kind of, place to dine later on in the evening that we can
there
go
would.
and get, probably one of the nicer places on campus and somewhere where we can get, a private sort of area.
Sure.
So that we can have a chat.
There's full-blown restaurants and things, or you can just find a 24-hour diner. It is pretty late at this point. It'd be 10 or so. Joe and Katie, you both be aware that technically there is a curfew for your accommodations, and you're already assuming you're going to be shrieked at by the matron when you return. So now, what's another hour at this point? Maybe you can sneak in if
Exactly.
you wait late enough.
I got a trellis. I'm good.
She'll be right. So in that case, as you say, I'm a little concerned about Chaz. We look back at Chaz.
Yeah, what's up?
So you're in this taxi cutting along Massachusetts lanes and following this car. You are aware that the two of you are pretty much the only ones on the highway, and as they begin to get further out, the car that you're following begins to slow. What do you say to the taxi driver?
Hey, let's slow down. Keep a distance here. No need for them to know we're here. Just hang back.
Look, kid.
Keep them in your sight.
I don't want to be involved in anything illegal or whatever you got going on here.
No, it's not illegal. Nothing illegal.
Okay, well, it's sure strange, and I'd like
Well,
a
they're just
little bit
friends
of an
mine. I'm looking
explanation.
just trying to surprise them, right? I think they're or they're trying to surprise me. It's just a little game we play. We're at the university. See, we like to play these little games around the
Okay,
city.
you know
a little
what,
bit
kid?
of cat and mouse here and
You
there.
might have time to play games, but I got a family to get back to, and I gotta feed him. He begins to apply the brake, and he goes, and if I need to see at least some money before I follow this little cat and mouse of yours, all right? He begins to brake and pull off onto the side of the road as you see the car in the distance. Continue on.
How much money do I have?
What's your spending limit?
Let's have a look. Spending level $10.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's pretty good, yeah.
That's not bad. Credit rating, well, my credit rating is 10, so actually it's not. It's probably, minimum average for a student.
Yeah.
But yes, I will flash him any and all cash I have, and I'll just say, like I said, I'm good for it. I'll pay extra.
I will need a social test. Especially if you're trying to get him to not be seen by these people as he continues.
A fast talking.
Sure, what's your line? We're playing a game's not a bad one.
Yeah, we're playing a game. And I'm good for it. I'll flash him the cash, and I got deep pockets here. I'm gonna look after you. You look after me. I'm gonna look after you.
Okay. Make a fast talk roll. You pass him the money. He takes it, he kind of chuckles and he goes, you university kids, you get to have all the fun. Don't worry, guy, I got your back. And he begins to pull out onto the road. He straight up turns the headlights off.
Nice.
And you follow along after these cars. They appear to be slowing for a while, but now that they can't see anyone else coming, they speed up again. And after another 5-10 minutes, you are well outside of... actually, not well outside of... You are decently outside of the outskirts. They slow down. You see the beams cut across tall trees, and they take a dirt track, which winds off the road. The taxi driver's chuckling a bit to himself now. He's going, oh yeah, we're gonna get him. As he turns off the road and follows them, bumping along a little bit. The torches, the high beams are lost from the other car, and you have to drive slowly as he navigates his way around these bends and eventually pulls up where you can see a rundown, abandoned house on the edge of town, and just in front of it is parked the car that Laszlo got into, as well as another one not far away. You guys park midway up the driveway, just a little out of sight, and the taxi driver conspiratorially goes, okay, what's next?
Oh, I can probably take it from here.
You had to get a flag or something from in there, or
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, all right.
I'll sneak around. Tell you what, actually, if you don't mind keeping the meter running, maybe just peel back to the end of the driveway and out of sight, and I might come running out. Like I said, keep the meter running. I'm good for it.
getaway driver, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Tell you what, you kids' pranks have gotten way more developed than my day. You hop out of the car and he begins to just swing around and back the way he came, and you are left hiding in the bushes. You see the car door open on the other side. Laszlo and Gibbons get out, and as they walk up to the front door, It's like bent and slightly like just ruined and shit. It creaks open and then is shoved further ajar, and William Noakes holds it open as they head up the stairs and inside.
What kind of place was this?
Like a
How would you
ruined
describe it?
old gambrel house, about 2 or 3 stories. The paint is peeling. There's 2 cars parked out the front, and scattered across the overgrown lawn are old rusted children's toys, including a swing which
And we're like
in the
really out in the
wind.
sticks, or are there other?
Oh yeah,
houses
right on the
nearby?
outskirts of town.
So no other houses nearby, or is it just like a big kind of yard?
Just
like a
this
big
one,
old-
just this one house, yeah. High above you, the moon is beginning to wane.
Cool. I guess I'm gonna go up the driveway.
In the walk, you can hear the crunch of your footsteps underneath. Where do you head?
Stick into the shadows, looking for which windows seem to have some lights in them.
Yeah. You try and get a look at some of the windows and begin to make a perimeter. You can see that all of them have been what looks to be newly boarded up, and curtains have been hung on the inside, just like white sheets and things to stop people looking outside. That said, you can see that there are lights on the lower levels, not on the upper level.
Interesting. Children's toys scattered about, including a baseball bat or something hefty of that nature.
Make a spot hidden roll.
Spot hidden. Mm-hmm. 2 points for a baseball bat.
You put your foot down and you feel something like roll away from it, and when you look down, you've bunted like a cricket bat or something. Yeah, baseball bat. And pick it up. It's got a good heft to it. It's also like children's size, so it's a little smaller, and it's all like splintered and worn away. The bandaging around the bottom, the tape is completely
I
desecrated.
can work with this. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to sneak as best I can up to the porch, staying out of sight, and see if I can listen into whichever window seems to have the activity and the light coming into it.
Make a stealth test with a bonus dice.
I'm going to need that bonus dice. What? 44 or 44. I'll take the 44 and give you 16 points of luck. Think this is the time to spend it.
Okay.
Am I not wrong?
All right.
I'll gauge I'll gauge
So
the
you're-
room.
that-
It
you're
sounds
getting-
like the time
I'm-
to spend it.
Tell you what, man, I don't think you want to record them. Okay.
Yep.
You sneak up towards one of the windows, and from the inside, you are just able to hear the rumblings of conversation. Can you please give me a listen roll? I know it's a lot of rolls, but
No, it's what I need.
At the very
I've got
least,
21
you-
points I've got 21 points left. I think this is what I'm going to spend it on, because this is everything. All right, regular success.
okay. From inside, you can hear a chair being scraped across, and then the thump of someone sitting inside it. And then you hear Noakes say, "So, everything's going well then?" And Gibbons, presumably pacing back and forth, says, "Time's running out. Just feel like we're not moving fast enough." Laszlo cuts him off and says, "Things are progressing satisfactorily. We had a screw up with Trent in the library. Block's fucked up again as well. We're gonna rotate the teams. Move Clarissa into the library, and Noakes, you go with her tomorrow. Keep searching. If necessary, we'll get you any signatures needed, but I need you in that collection by tomorrow night. We need to get a full list, and we need to know what we're gonna hit, or else this is all a waste of time." There's a creak as his chair shifts, and then he says, "We've got a few days left, but those idiots are on our trail now, and things are gonna get tougher from here. Keep your noses down and don't draw any more attention than you need to. I'll deal with the others." They seem to fade off for a little while, and they step up, moving from one of the rooms to another.
That's it.
For the time being.
What are they doing now?
Moving
around.
As soon as we're moving around from inside one of the rooms. Actually, with that, they pause for it. You stay there for a little while. You hear them moving from one of the runes, and then it's probably Laszlo that's departed. You're pausing for a moment, wondering what you're going to do next, and you hear Gibbons say to Noakes, "That thing needs to be fed, and I did it last time, so I think you just drew the short straw." Noakes goes, "Fine, sure. Is there a bucket or something?" Gibbons goes, "Yeah, over in the closet. Chop, chop." And you hear footsteps receding, and then a door opens somewhere on the interior, and what sound like boots going down towards a basement.
If they're going down to a basement, there might be like a little window on the ground that looks into the basement, or a trapdoor somewhere on the outside with external access.
Do you want to give me you begin to like loop around, padding. You do find a lower basement window, but it has been boarded up and sheets put across it. What you can just make out is like the light clicks on down, and you hear, and then Gibbons go, "Here's your slop," and then there's something being like thrown and scattering across the floor, and then you just hear like groaning. Can you give me a sanity roll? Actually, let's hold on to that. Let's see how things pan out. Do you want to try and look closer?
Yeah, if I can just like get one eyeball into this little gap in the windows.
Try and like
see
make a
what's in
space.
there.
Give me a
Did
spot.
I hear it groan? Thank you. That was. I feel better now. I think this is a polite monster in the basement.
Make a spot hidden roll.
Spot hidden. I wish I hadn't succeeded that.
You are just able to find a tiny gap through the windows, and you see Gibbons is heading back towards the stairs. In the center of the basement, the floor has been cut away, and there's an organic shape, like a large pustulated bubble in the center. It's vaguely humanoid, except all across its back are a number of like organs matted across it. And as this like slop of what looks like clear liquid with tiny squiggling things in it sweeps across the floor, it does have hands. They reach down to slap in the water, and then it lowers its face to, like in long wet sucking motions, drain whatever's on the floor. As it looks up towards the light for a moment, which sort of like swings ominously across, you see the thing's face, and you recognize it from a photo you were photoshopped into. That's John Jeffrey. Oh. But he's been turned into something so much worse. Can you give me a sanity roll? One point.
Yeah,
It's a hell of a night.
This is fine.
It's a hell of a night. What do you want to do?
Well, I think I've seen enough. I think I'll get out of here. Sorry, did I hear was it Laszlo coming out again? Has anyone come out?
Seemed like
of the
they were just
house?
moving around on the upstairs. Nope, not yet.
Great, I'm gonna get out while I still can.
Okay. You move away from it. This image burned into your mind, and under the moonlight, you begin to pick your way through these children's toys, like one of those rocking horses that's like hammered into the ground, back and forth, and then you get to the tree line and begin to move through it. Even though you're holding your cool, your heart's like thundering in your chest, and it's all you can hear, the dum dum in your ears. And by the time you make it out towards the main road, you can feel yourself like beginning to move towards panic, but you're able to stow it down, How do you keep control? You succeeded that sanity roll. How do you keep control of yourself in this situation? Is it anger, just overwhelming the other emotions, or do you enter a zen state? How does Chaz deal with this sort of thing? Because you've handled it pretty well in the past as well.
Yeah. I think this time could be a little bit different. This time it's just like, oh, I'm in over my head. I'm just gonna like fade away. It's a little bit like an out-of-body experience, just like, I'm not in this scene. I'm gonna leave no footprints, leave no trace. I was never here. I try to embody that of just like stepping lightly. I'm not here.
You're removed from the whole thing.
Yeah.
You watch as
Disassociation. Yeah.
you watch as Chaz gets into the side of the car, and for a moment you don't realize that like the guy next to you is talking to you. He's probably asking something about the game or whatever, but you're able to just like, let's just go back. And he talks to you for a little while until eventually you swing around and he falls into silence too, getting the sense that maybe you saw something you didn't quite expect to. You begin to head back into Arkham, and at one point you will see another car driving along the road. You don't know if they're going to the same destination, but it's the same pass, and it's late at night. It flies past you. And then you begin to pick up the lights of Arkham and drive back home. Okay.
I'll give the taxi driver all the money I have, and then give him Seb's address if it doesn't quite cover it.
It's enough. He was kind of on board for the story and everything, and like you did persuade him. And then once you get to this point, he can kind of see that you're shaken. He tries to like say like, "Hey, do you need to be dropped somewhere else?" Like more serious, but you're able to like, "Nah, it's all good," unless you want to go to the police or something. And eventually he just kind of shakes his head and goes, "Kids," and heads off. Where are the four of you going? It's late at this point. Seb and Joe, unless there's something you want to zoom in on, you've like had your dinner and stuff, and you're, it's like now 11 or something, and like you're all pretty exhausted. What do you all want to do?
I think we probably would have had a quick conversation about, you know, next steps and what we're really doing here and that kind of thing. And Joe would absolutely have spent, you know, a little while just kind of reassuring Seb, look, I'm on board with you guys in this. I'm not on the same wavelength as Chaz and Katie with some of this kind of real spooky shit, but like, John, Jeffrey's my best friend, is my best friend, and we had a fight before he went on the expedition, and I gotta find him. He doesn't have anyone else. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I can't find him.
I understand where you're coming from, Miss Johnson. I can't promise anything because it's not within my power to do so, but if you're willing to come along on whatever this ride is, then I'll do my best to help you find what information we can about Mr. Jeffries. But I think our first step is Blaine. I don't deeply care about what's going on, to be clear.
Neither. I just want to find my friend. And I'm all in to do that.
I'm all in on making this whole situation Blaine's fault, so I can go back to no responsibilities and living the good life. This whole thing has just ruined my time on campus. I mean, do you have any idea how painful it is to talk to my uncle about something other than polo and women?
No.
I don't like having serious conversations, and I've had to have a lot of them over the last few weeks.
Yeah, so many. Oh. Blaine was the last one to see John alive. So.
Well, then I think at least in that we are of agreement. I want to find Blaine so I can find out exactly what his part on all of this is and pin it all on him, because if it's someone else's fault, it isn't mine.
All right, I think we're in accord about what we want out of this, and Joe's going to kind of hand out to shake Seb's hand, basically being like, I'm all in. Maybe not with the spooky stuff, but we're going to find Blaine and we're going to figure this shit out.
Spooky stuff isn't really my department either. I mean, I like folklore. I like stories. I like mythology, but wizards and shit?
Nope.
Come on.
Likewise, and Joe will kind of get up and push her coffee away and stretch. It's late. Track in the morning.
Well, let me walk you to the dormitory at least.
Yeah.
That way, if someone's gonna get in trouble for keeping you out late, it might not be you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I'll offer an arm
Yep.
politely.
Lean down to take it.
Sounds like average height, but he's not tall. And we'll wander along with Justin towards the Dorothy Upman
And so on, the
dormitory.
hall.
Is that one? Yep.
Wonder if we see a taxi.
Yeah. Or just so there's a chance that we will be intercepted by some people.
I think Chaz is going to be behind everyone by a little bit. I think he's going to be getting in pretty late, and I think Katie's probably already inside as it lines up. So unless there's anything else people want to do tonight, head back towards dormitories and get some rest. That said, there are going to be a few things that you notice.
Go for the noticing. I was going to say there is something that Seb is going to do when he goes into his dorm, so when that becomes appropriate.
Okay. First of all, Violet has gotten back from her trip. So Joe, once you clamber up the trellis and straight to the room, you open it and you spot there is a figure sleeping in Violet's bed. It is her. She's resting. You can see like her trunk is still not yet unpacked, is nearby. And she seems to be sleeping fairly soundly. Seb, when you get back into your room, you get to the door and it's not locked. And you always lock your door. And you know you locked it this morning. Mm-hmm. And when you slide it open, I want you to make a luck roll.
Odd success.
Someone's been through your shit. Doors are opened. Things have been searched through, and in panic, you think of the books from Blaine. But fortunately, you had sequestered all of those underneath your mattress. And as you raise it up, it seems that if anyone was searching for those, they haven't been found. That said, some petty cash has been taken. A couple of your personal books are missing, but it just seems to be like miscellaneous things.
Does it strike me as someone who's come in looking for something, gone, we haven't found it, but we need to make it look like we were here for not
It's a reasonable thought.
Well, I'll chalk that up to speaking to campus security first thing tomorrow morning about the fact that my room was broken into. But that actually plays really nicely, which is what Seb does right before bed, which is he closes the door, locks it, and then takes his very heavy reading chair and is going to push it in front of the door, remembering what Laszlo said.
That is especially important because the lock doesn't work anymore.
Oh, as in it's been broken.
Yeah.
Well, then that's definitely... Is there would be campus security around at this time of night?
Yeah, you'd have to actively go and fetch someone. It would turn into a thing. They're not. There's not some. Actually, no. I take that back. You're in the posher dorm. There is probably someone stationed you could go and talk to.
I'll go do that immediately.
Okay. You head downstairs and find the local the guard that's pasted in this area. You explained that it was broken into. He will say that no one has mentioned anything. They can, if you if it pleases you, they'll look into it first thing in the morning. He kind of tries with the lock thing. He goes, look, don't worry about it. Kids are probably just pranking and stuff. If you're rushing one of the frats or talking to them, I imagine they're just trying to look into you. Don't sweat it too much. We can have it looked at tomorrow and we'll get it fixed as soon as possible. They seem to have taken it on board, but they're not hella prioritizing it.
My main thing is to make sure that someone other than me is aware that my room is not locked and that, like, you know, is slightly more observant of people coming and going to in and out of the dormitories, so that, you know, it's just an extra layer of security.
With that, he will say, I've been here most of the day, and my buddy was in here earlier for the previous shift. No one's come or gone that wasn't supposed to be in the building.
I mean, genuinely, that actually does not surprise me. So yes, if you could just make sure that no one comes near my room for the evening until we can get the lock fixed, that would be appreciated.
Not an issue. We'll take that on board.
Thank you.
You head back to your room.
Go into my room, push the door up, push the reading chair up against the door. I would also like to place like a vase on top of the reading chair, like lent against the door, so if someone decides to push it, it's going to make
Alone.
an almighty fucking racket.
Tremendous.
So I got my own little like warning system that'll hopefully wake me up, and then I will. So everything that's under the bed. I'm gonna say I will have left my little like pocketbook there today, but from now on, I will be taking that with me because that has all of my notes. That is a copy of everything in those books. So even if they get taken, I have a copy.
I will assume that is on your person. No worries. Okay. Lastly, Chaz, as you make your way, it's late. You're kind of like a little out of it. Your place does not have a guard. It's pretty shit. And you let yourself in. This door doesn't, the front door to the whole dormitory doesn't lock either. All the students just know you just kind of have to like jiggle it a bit and then slam a shoulder in to get it open. As you head down towards the corridor, you spot sleeping in an armchair in a shared space is your roommate. He's gotten like a blanket from the communal area and he's pulled it up over him, and he seems to be having a kip in one of the like just like a shared chair or something. He seems to be pretty out of it.
Oh, that's kind of weird, right?
It's a little weird.
I'll nudge him awake and say, "Hey,
He needs a
it's right."
proper kick before he. Yes.
What are you doing out here?
Charles. You'll apologize. One of your degenerate friends has found our quarters, and he's made himself quite comfortable. If you would get rid of him, I'd appreciate going to bed.
Oh, righto. What's he look like?
Redhead fellow. Drunk.
Redhead fellow.
Higgins.
All right. Thanks. Higgins, who is not a skin monster as far as we can tell, because we were with him the whole time.
You never
before
know
those
with these
creatures were
things.
around.
That's the thing about skin monsters.
That's true. All right, I'll let you know when he's all clear.
I appreciate it, fine fellow.
I love that this is technically Jackson's backup characters.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Apparently that's the voice.
I didn't know if you'd talk to him. So we gotta kind of place
had
him.
not yet.
I guess that's the risk. We'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
no.
We'll see. He can always get hit on the head and it can change.
All right, yeah, let's head in and see what Higgins is up to.
Okay. You head into the room and sprawled across your bed, and having stolen several of the blankets and pillows from the other one is Higgins. He's gotten one shoe off and his shirt, but his pants are still on, and he's looks fairly drunk and sweaty.
All right,
He's like sprawled across everything.
I'm gonna shake him awake. Hey, Higgins, how you doing here?
Chaz?
Yeah, you don't gotta be so surprised to see me. You're in my bed.
Sorry. I thought he like gets up and he moves to the window and he like leans against it. He goes, sorry. Chaz, can I be honest with you?
Please do.
I'm a little drunk. I had a little drink, and if my father finds out after everything he did to keep me in this school, he's gonna fucking kill me. And for like some people's families, that's for real. Concrete shoes, Chaz. Concrete shoes.
All right.
Someone's watching me. I think he's got people on the campus. There was someone outside my room, so I figured I'll be safe in here. Your bodyguard to let me in. He gets to the floor and begins to try and crawl underneath your bed.
I allow him to.
Okay.
I love that it's like I had a small drink, which obviously turned into a much bigger
Several others.
drink. Yes.
He crawls underneath your bed, and you can hear it eventually snoring.
Great. Well, I guess I'll pull some of the blankets back out, unwrapping him.
It's a proper little fight. Yeah, and you're right,
Yeah.
it's a cocoon, so he just goes doop, 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 as he unrolls underneath the bed, and you take him.
I'll throw them back onto the proper beds and let Sherrod know.
Okay.
Yeah, I am concerned. I absolutely believe that someone's watching him, but I don't think I'll extract any more useful information from him tonight.
Okay. You head down and you fall asleep, or you're able to turn anything. Do you have any night ritual, Chaz, or any thoughts that take you?
Tonight, the ritual is keeping the baseball bat in bed with me.
It's like splintered. Yeah.
That's okay. No, based on his waking up ritual that we discussed last session, I think his going to bed ritual is much the same. Make sure the blankets are there, fall into them.
Perfect. Okay.
Question where shoes go.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, Katie, you head back to your quarters and head into bed. Do you have any night ritual or anything that you do?
I actually had something that I thought was going to be quite funny. I was planning to say that a couple of things. First of all, I actually have really good climb because we had to pick one athletic skill as part of the university background. So I can climb really well, and I didn't think Violet was back. So I was gonna say, I will climb up the trellis into Violet's room.
Yeah.
So I think there was an awkward moment where I like poked my head up and went, oh, or something like that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes, as you come up, you would have gotten back a bit before Joe and Seb. They're still eating at this point. And you'll find Violet just as she's getting back. And it is late at this point. And the matron has already posted it at the front door. You hear a scream from down the halls as some other student comes inside, and you took the right entrance coming up the trellis. Violet sees you jimmying the thing, and unless you like duck your head down, she'll spot you pretty quickly.
I think I do try to do it. I think it's more just comic, and I will like scuttle back down, and I find like another way up into my bedroom. I ultimately not particularly interesting, no conversation or anything like this, but it feeds into the bit that I want to do for the relationship between Violet and Katie. Is that from Katie's perspective, Violet's so good, so cool, and everything, and from Violet's perspective, like Violet is a nerd, and Katie, she smokes and she drinks and she does all this wild
hell
stuff.
Yes, I
She's
love that.
so edgy and
Hell yeah.
So I think it just feeds into that. I don't really have a ritual. I probably go over some notes. I'm still a little frantic. I've got my little cork board of images. So if someone breaks into my room, they're going to get all of my all of the research that I've put together on like the various bits and pieces. But then I go to bed.
It's so funny you say that. Katie goes to bed and Joe goes to bed nearby. Katie, can you make a listen roll? And Josephine, can you make a listen roll with a penalty dice?
Oh dear.
I'm asleep. I'm super
That's a
asleep.
fumble from me.
Where's my little listen?
We're not able to see the people with that. Let's go back to this view for a moment.
Yeah.
With a penalty
And
dice.
a penalty dice for me as well. Hey.
So roll once more.
No. Penalty dice is D6, yeah?
Oh, no. You roll
No.
roll again and
I'll
take
just roll it again.
the worst one.
Take the lower. That's right, I haven't done this one in a while.
All good. Okay. Joe, you're tossing and turning. Katie unfortunately fumbled. So here's how this is going to play out. Joe, you're gonna notice something a little later. Katie, you fall asleep and you're having like weird dreams. They ebb and flow and sort of go in circles, not really making too much sense. And then you feel a sharp pain in your neck and your eyes flash open and there's a silhouette standing over you above your bed, but with the light above it. Actually, no, with no light, only a little bit filtering through. You can't make out who they are immediately, and paralysis takes you. You can't tell if this is a nightmare or not, but you can't move your hands or anything, and your eyes are frozen slightly open. The figure leans down over you and then takes its two fingers and closes your eyelids, and you are able to hear them as they move about your room, but you cannot move and you cannot see. Can you please make a sanity roll? Just to like the panic that's rising.
Success.
You're all right
Wow.
then. As footsteps pace around the room and search for something. Katie, where is the mineral?
I think that I probably have it like on a bottle around my neck. I think it's visible. It's like sprawled out so it can be taken off, especially if someone's messing with my neck. But I probably put it on a necklace.
In that case, your eyes close, you hear footsteps move around the bed, and then from the other side, soft fingers trace their way around your neck. For a moment, you think they're going to squeeze, and then they grab the cold chain, tug it, it breaks at the back, and then they exit, going the other way. Joe, you hear late at night, like footsteps just outside your door, going backwards, leaving, like someone sneaking out late at night. What would you do?
If it's woken me up,
Yeah, you were kind of like tossing and turning a little bit anyway. It was a little weird.
yeah, I'm shitty at being woken up. I have to get up at like 5 o'clock. I've already gone to bed late. I'm gonna stick my head out until I'm out.
Okay.
You're like, what are you doing?
You look out the door and you see heading down towards the exit, Clarissa Thurber, one of the students that went a while ago. She does stay in this dormitory. She's heading towards the exit when you spot her. She's far enough away that if you were to yell at her, you would be raising your voice. Also, actually, no, that's probably it. What do you want to do?
Do I know that she stays down the way that she's come?
No, she does not. She's on one of the other halls.
I'm gonna look back down the way that she came.
Yep, she's continuing to walk towards the stairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the way that she came. Is there any kind of doors open? Anything kind of strewn?
Make a spot hidden check. Katie, do you want to flag something?
Speaking to the design of the hallways, we established that
You are right across the road.
Our rooms were at the end of the corridor opposite.
And we're right across each from
Oh,
each
you're
other.
right.
We are
Oh
literally...
god, so there was
Yeah,
so
and
there's
that has been
nobody else,
established.
yeah.
I will say that she either came from one of like you saw her when she was already part way down, but you heard it from right outside the room. So actually, there might
She
be
had
like
to be down
a
here.
window just outside. That's when you guys both sneak up to get in, and it's just
Yeah.
there. So maybe they snuck into the window. Otherwise, one of these. And Katie's the only other person of give a
Did she
shit.
close Katie's door
Yes,
on the
Katie's
way
door
out?
is closed.
Has she been one of the ones who is missing?
Yes, she was one of the ones that went missing on the most recent
know
field
that.
trip.
And I
All right.
said several times that I saw her die.
Yeah, you did say several times that you saw her die. First thing I'm gonna do is poke my head into Katie's room.
Okay.
I'm gonna just stick my head into her room.
But at this point, she gets to the end and she turns me to descend the stairs. She hasn't necessarily noticed you because you didn't call out to her. You open Katie's door, which is unlocked. These ones don't have locks. They just have one on security at the front. And as you swing it open, moonlight's filtering through. Katie seems to be sleeping. She's just laid across her bed, although her sheets are slightly disturbed. Her roommate is nearby, who sort of tosses a little bit and snores.
I'm out of here. I'm going down the trellis. I'm gonna circle around and cut her off.
Okay. You close the door and
There's
head back out.
nothing that gives me emergency concern, but shit's weird.
Oh yeah. You close the door and like wiping the sleep out. What's your pajama situation? Just like old gym clothes?
Yeah, it's like track pants and a MU like t-shirt.
Perfect. You open the door, the bracing night wind and dart down the trellis, landing and circling around to see if you can find Clarissa and where she went. Can you please give me a climb roll for this one?
good at
Katie,
climbing.
from
I
your
actually don't think I'm
perspective,
good at
you hear
climbing.
the door open again. Someone watches you and then closes it.
Is this the same paralysis that I felt when I was out in the woods?
It is different. It feels to be something chemical, would be your read, but it's similar. Joe, as you go out the window, you've done this 100 times. You think you're safe. Your feet slip and you tumble towards the ground.
I reckon I break it. Joe's
Genuinely,
not small.
You're gonna take a D6 from tumbling from a second story.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, you are right. Sorry, and it's a fumble. We're gonna give you. You're gonna take. What's your major wound, Rid? I want to say 6, but I don't want to. You know, it's a. I think take.
Falling is the fumble, is it?
Yeah.
Not? Like, because if you
Yeah.
fail,
Yeah, you're right.
you
You're
just
right.
go,
You're right. If you
"I'm
fail,
not-"
you just go. You can't do it, or
Yeah.
not in speed. It's doing
So-
so. You're right. Roll a D6. You're gonna take that much damage.
Ooh,
Okay, not too bad.
nice.
That said, so you fall from it. You can hear something like creak a little bit, and one of your feet is a little tender. But the problem is with that speed, by the time you get around, there is no sign of Clarissa. Wherever she left from, she's vanished again.
I'm gonna put my hand. I'm just gonna like peer into the darkness for a bit.
Bastards.
I assume it's so late now that there's nobody at the door.
No one there. Oh, sorry. The matron is posted up there, but she will be asleep, and you can try
Yeah.
and sneak back and forth from there.
Because that's how Clarissa got out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's worth doing a campus wander to try and find her, but I'm not that suspicious. I didn't.
No, and your
weird that she's
impression would be
leaving.
at this point she could have gone pretty much anywhere from here.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I will thigh heavily back up the trellis, go back to bed.
A little gingerly.
Very carefully this time.
Okay. You head back up the trellis and you head to bed. Katie, for the next hour, you are completely unable to move. It slowly fades, and by the time light is breaking, you've like slowly worked, like your fingers began moving, and then the rest of your arm, and by the time day comes, you are back in control of your body, but it's a pretty scary experience.
Yeah.
Day comes, and the four of you have your actions with you, but one more thing will be noticed. Chaz, a note has been slipped under your door at some point in the night. And when you rise in the morning for football practice, which is pretty early, and Higgins is like hands folded out from under the thing, you accidentally step on a little bit and you hear, you pull on your shorts and head towards the door. You'll find a note which reads very simply, the club. Underneath that is written 620 South French Street. And that is written Blaine. And it is signed a friend. And that's all it says.
Okay.
Okay. What do you guys want to do this morning?
I have to go to training. My foot hurts. I'm tired.
Everything
I'm gonna
sucks.
go to training.
So Joe's got training.
I think I mean, I'm frantic. I think I try to rally anybody who's around as quickly as I can.
If you can get up early enough. I mean, you've all seen, yeah, yep.
Yeah. So I mean, probably as Joe's getting up for training, I would like start frantically, knocking on the door.
Hey. Shh, nobody else is up.
And I will unload on you. I will say about the weird meeting with Leopold. I'll say I was attacked last night. I was injected with something paralyzing.
Outside. And I'll like usher Katie outside to have this discussion.
Violet goes like, attacked? Looks over everything.
Yeah. I know.
Morning, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hope your trip was good. Chat later, bye.
So good. Where do you guys head? And are you
just
looking to
out.
rally people? You know that Chaz has football practice, so he'd be one up next. Seb normally doesn't have anything first thing in the morning, so you can.
Yeah. We'll head to the.
Well, in that case, I think
Pitch,
Chaz, as you got up early enough because Katie intercepted it. Chaz is if they head towards it, This dormitory doesn't have any security, so they don't care. If you guys want to be, he can get the note, and you guys can hammer on the door pretty shortly after, and the three of you can convene.
At my place.
What do you mean you were attacked? I saw you. I saw you. I stuck my head in, and you just looked like you were asleep. Clarissa was going down the hall, leaving.
I felt a pain in my neck, and there was a figure above me, and I couldn't move. It was like I was paralyzed. And do I have like a mark?
Oh my god.
Maybe a tiny pinprick of blood that's smeared a little bit and dry, but there's no mark left because it would have been presumably a very fine needle or something.
I actually have a medical skill. Could I attempt to prove that, like, look, I'm not crazy. It's this, you know.
You could. Are you gathering people first, or what are you doing?
I will gather.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The three of you are
At my
grabbed,
place?
and then then you need to get Seb next, and Seb can't be let out unless anyone has a reason. You can convene shortly for like breakfast in a cafe. Does anyone?
I was
Does anyone
gonna
object?
say, you could like just rock up at Seb's because Seb does not have roommates,
Ooh.
and waking Seb up first thing in the morning is a funny experience.
Yep. Okay. In that case,
Fantastic.
then the three of you convene. You're like going, some weird shit's going on. We need to talk.
Banging on his door.
Chaz?
Yeah, well, Chaz would send a message to Coach, say, I'm sick, too bad. Because,
I'm not coming.
Yeah. And also wants to drag along Higgins to pump him.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Protein and coffee and pump information out of him.
Sure. You've managed to get like an oversized jersey on top of him because he's super hungover at this point. And it is very reminiscent of the storm because you're now escorting Higgins along who doesn't want to go where we're going. So it's a flashback. Seb, you hear hammering, and when you drag the thing out of the way...
Is it hammering, or do they try and open the door and then I hear a crash of a very nice vase breaking?
It's hammering
100%.
at first, and it depends on how long it takes.
Yeah.
It's probably sort of fake timid hammering of like Seb, and then Joe's
And
voice,
Joe-
and then
Bang, bang, bang.
The vase
out of
crashes.
Out of the bed.
There is an audible low groan, and then like a scraping sound, and then the door opens, and there is Seb, very disheveled in like one of those like powdering gowns. He just opens the door and is like, "What?"
Hey, my nan has a gown like that. He was attacked.
something's happened. We have to, and I think that I would say
I'm gonna
that
be sick.
Oh god.
should we fast forward to when we're somewhere like in a private booth at a
Well,
cafe?
I think you wanted to do it in Seb's place was the idea, right? Like it's a large enough room.
Sure.
It's a little awkward, but you guys close the door behind it. You re-drag the thing, and you all take places.
Yeah, I think Seb's just like, look, chair, chest, ottoman. Do not let Higgins near my bed. I'm gonna go make. And he just like pads over to his thing and starts making coffee. Is just not happy about anything that's happening right now. If Higgins is going to be sick, bathrooms through that door. For anyone who's never been in the upper classmen, it's very nice.
Ooh.
I think I got it.
hold on.
I feel all right. I think I'm in control. I'm gonna be sick. Heads to the bathroom.
You got your own bathroom?
Focus, Chaz. Focus. Katie was
Seb just like
attacked.
and then keeps making coffee. Like there's no coherence at this point.
Chaz would like to secure the perimeter. Make sure all doors are locked. Make sure all windows are
door
locked.
doesn't lock.
All the
It was broken
curtains.
into.
Put some stuff under the door.
Hang on.
Put a
Why
chair
is
in
there
front of the door.
Full paranoia. Okay.
The chair is
broken
back in front of
into.
the door.
The door no longer locks, and the windows don't have locks on them. But they can be kind of like wedged closed a bit. But you're on the second story. It's presumed, and there's not a trellis on the outside of this one. It's just presumed it's inaccessible, so they don't have locks on them.
The door won't lock. It's broken.
You were broken into?
Yep.
Katie was attacked.
Well, it's down. Maybe the two are connected. I mean, it's crazy things are happening. Surely
Oh,
nothing
man.
more crazy than an attack and a break-in.
I'm
and
gonna
it was
let y'all go
Clarissa.
first because I'm holding the royal flush. But yeah, by all means.
Oh, hold on. What?
What?
Why are we playing poker?
Did
Oh,
you
I'll
beat
let
up
you-
Laszlo?
I'll let you go first. Yeah, I followed Laszlo.
All right.
And, it went south real fast. But I want to hear from
Oh.
Higgins
No.
as well.
Yes. Higgins, do you need coffee?
Nope. Give me a minute.
Okay,
Because
well,
he
let's
said
just,
someone was following him last night.
Oh,
let's just start with everything we found out, because it sounds like we all found out a lot last night. So,
I found out that I am heavier than I thought I was.
oh,
I found
okay.
out that someone. I found out that I assume Laszlo, given he's the only other person in this place, broke into my room. So.
And we all found information as well, Chaz, at the library. We found out that there's old medical texts and
Oh,
there's
something about safe removal of organs.
yeah, weird stuff connected to what you and I believe. You know, strange things at high elevations, like the pictograms and the photo that the journalist took. And then
Katie was attacked. Someone knocked her out. Not someone, Clarissa.
yeah, jabbed me in
Not
the
dead, by the way.
and they stole the mineral. They took it.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, they stole the mineral, and there's other things too. It's
Is this the one that I heard was extraterrestrial, which is still batshit, by the way?
and I went to Liam and I've got a meeting with him at 12 today, which means he'll be out of his office, which means that Chaz, you should break into his safe because we're very good at that now.
Whoa.
And
Whoa, what?
Whoa. Hold, please. Katie. Miss Wilkes. We are going to get expelled if we do anything stupid. Also, and I assume you've kind of laid out your conversation with Leomont at this point.
yep.
He said he hasn't spoken to Professor Harold. And who saw Professor Harold talk? Oh, Chaz, you would have seen them outside the library. Have you relayed that information to us?
Yeah.
Great. So I think Harold, if he's talking to Block about problems in the library, he's probably in on it. And I suspect that Learmonth, if he hasn't spoken to Harold, might not be. We might be able to talk to him normally.
Well, then we do that. We tell him everything. But it's not just worried about getting expelled. I'm worried about getting killed now. Like people are breaking into, stabbing me in the neck.
Yeah, Katie, you were right. Do we need to take you to a doctor or
going
something?
to- Do you need a drink, Miss Wilkes?
I'm-
Actually, I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to put a dram of something in your coffee, and I'm going to hand it to you. I'm going to go, please drink this. And
Thank you,
calm
thank you.
down. I am not ready to deal with this amount of anxiety in my quarters at 6 o'clock in the
Okay, well,
morning.
we've got some information, but Chaz, what did you find? You said royal flush?
Oh boy. Where do I start? All right. So Laszlo was getting in my face in the library last night, right? And he was, I think he was trying to wind me up, right? He was trying
Weasel.
to get me to do something. Well, I think he was, taunting me, trying to get me to start something. And I thought, no, well, that's not what I'm gonna do. But then I thought he's one step ahead of me, right? So he's gonna think, well, hold on. If I'm gonna figure out that's what he's trying to do, then I'm gonna do the opposite of that. So I decided to follow him with the aim of, teaching him a lesson. But here's the thing: he got in a car that was being driven by looking at
Gibbons.
my notes here. Gibbons, right? Gibbons. They peeled away. They went to the north side of town. I got in a taxi, followed him. Said, you might be getting a knock on the door with an invoice. I don't know. It seemed he'd be happy enough. They went to this creepy fucking house out in the woods, right out in the sticks, right? Isolated out in the middle of nowhere, where there was, Noakes, Gibbons, Laszlo having a good little chat. They talked about the Clarissa and Noakes. They're going back to the library to get signatures. They need to know a full list of what they're gonna hit, whatever that means. They said they have a few days left. They know we're on the trail. They're gonna keep their noses down. They're not gonna draw any attention to themselves. And Laszlo's gonna deal with the others. I don't know. I guess that's us.
Okay, they're
Good luck to him.
a hit on the collection in the library.
Maybe they're going to try and
Yeah.
rob the library.
Well, I mean, the collection. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but collection is not what they call it. Do they call the entire universe, like the entire library stuff that? Or if someone says the collection, they mean the restricted shit?
The restricted section is called the restricted collection.
Got it.
But they did seem to also be looking at the entirety of the books as well.
Okay.
To get into the restricted collection, you need permission from Dr. Armitage.
Niches.
Who needs to let you exactly, and you'd probably need a professor's. You need a professor's permission who will put you forward to get access, but it is still up to the director to allow you in. Students that can't just go in willy-nilly. You need basically to prove that you need access.
Okay, so they might be pulling from the standard collection, but if they need signatures, they may be looking at the restricted collection, which, well, I don't personally know what's in there, but I've heard stories, and...
Okay, but then it gets worse.
What?
Then it gets worse. See, I found out why they were going out to this creepy house in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. Is they
A bunch of creepy sleazebags.
they're keeping something there in the basement. See,
Something.
something they had to feed. They had a bucket and a bucket full of like sloppy liquid with something wriggle around inside of it. They took that bucket down to the basement, and they had to feed something down in the basement. And it was
Something. Like a dog?
it was real messed up, covered in pustules, covered in organs stitched to its back.
Organs.
Wasn't in a good state, but it had a face.
Ooh. Like a human face?
Like Jeffrey's face.
Joe is going to immediately just like grab Chaz by the front of the shirt and just be like, "You're full of shit. You're lying. I'm done. I'm done with this bullshit. Where do you get off?
I'm
What is
telling you the
this?
truth. I get off and I'm telling the truth. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling the truth. Is the truth.
You two and you wizards, and now is this a joke? Is this meant to be funny?
I didn't find it funny. I thought it was pretty messed up, actually. I wish I could find it funny. I wish I was making it up. I wish I had the imagination to come up with this stuff. But I don't.
That's fair
And I'm
enough.
not.
Where is it?
Can I make a psychology roll?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know, but Seb doesn't know.
We're not making things up. Did they see you there, Chaz? Because if they didn't, we can go up there ourselves.
No, no, they didn't see me. Look,
North of
Laszlo
town,
might have
right?
seen him.
Creepy
North side of
cottage, north of
town,
town.
yeah.
Which roads?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly where it is. Laszlo probably saw me. Laszlo saw him getting into the car, but I don't think they saw me following in the
I don't
taxi
care. I don't
getting
care.
out of the
Where
car.
is it? Where's the shack?
We should go up there this morning. We should all go up there.
I'm
now.
going up there right now.
All right.
And Joe's
Yeah,
just gonna
if they're
get up
meeting in
and
the middle-
walk.
If they have midnight meetings, they're probably not going to expect us to show up at the middle of the morning. I like it. I think we do it. I think you got to see. I think you got to see this.
All right, hold on 1 second.
No.
I think
No,
Joe
if,
gets up
if
and
Jeffries is there, if
I will, and that like, I'm not gonna step between you and the door. I'm not gonna like try and stop you, but I am gonna say, Joe, you cannot do this on your own, and if you go there without preparation, this could be extremely dangerous. You are
I'll be prepared.
You are a very, very formidable woman. But please, just take a breath and let's work out exactly what we should be doing and who we should be talking to before we go out to the middle of nowhere and potentially put ourselves in a very dangerous situation.
Seb, I respect your capability and your plans. I'm going to the hunting club. I'm getting a rifle, and if you're not at the quad in 4 minutes, then I will be getting a taxi out to this place. Good morning. And she's gonna leave.
like drag
See
the
how many
thing out of the
you can
way.
get. You get more than one. Get more than one.
Okay. And Joe begins to head off.
Joe's just like, cool story, I'm out.
Fuck yeah. What are the other three of you doing?
I need to leave a note. Professor Lehman, I'm gonna be in trouble. And I'll scurry out to try and get a message to Lehman before joining in the quad.
Sure. Okay. So you're going to head towards the science annex just so you can drop off a note there or something. Yep. No worries. 7 Chaz.
Do we have time before Joe leaves? to get any information out of Higgins?
You can
Or is
stay
he
behind.
just
You can
out of
talk.
it?
He's pretty hungover and out of it, but you guys can talk to him if the two of you want to do that, and then head over towards the quad and meet with the others.
I'm gonna look at Chaz before anything else and say, you better not be lying. She will kill you.
Okay, good. That works out really well, because I'm not lying, alright?
I'm gonna go and have a conversation with campus security. So,
Fine, I'll see you on the quad.
right, oh. One moment. And I'll walk and get as I said, I'll, have at this point somewhat gotten myself together, or I will take a moment to do that. I'll grab my pocketbook. Both of those, the book list and the article, are slipped into the pocketbook, so those are on me. I will get my pretty decent sized umbrella, because you never know what the weather will do. And then I will take out like $20 from my daily spending.
Yep.
I'm gonna hand it to Chaz and be like, just in case you need it, please don't tell people where I stay.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
It's like double your daily spending limit, which I just hand to you. And then I will head out and go, I ask you to lock the door behind you, but and then
Here's one of the
talk.
downsides. You can kind of wedge it from the inside, but once you're out, you can't secure it. The time being, at least.
Honestly, everything, I think, like, the only thing of value I would have really had in there was, like,
Chaz.
I have fine... Sure. Like money more than anything. Like, I don't think I have things that are extremely like, there are things that are valuable to other people, like nice clothes and good quality stuff.
I will flag, some of those are missing. Like, they have kind of gone through, like,
Yeah,
your stuff,
but,
and, like, a
like-
couple of cufflinks are missing. Some of your money's gone.
Like, they're not valuable to Seb.
Yeah.
In as much as those things are all replaceable and he has the money to do so. But he will take any of the petty cash that he has, on
worries.
him to potentially leave with the security people to be like, I want this held somewhere because my room is not secure.
All right.
And then I will go and have a conversation with campus security.
Okay. So we will handle some of these with just quick rolls and things rather than playing everything out. So Seb, you go to the campus security. Is the intent just to keep things moving along to make sure they actually get the shit here?
The intent is to say I had a conversation in the library with one Laszlo last night, and he said quite clearly he knows where I sleep, and he has access to this building, and then no one came or went, and I have significant concerns, and as a McCarthy, I am unimpressed.
Fuck yeah. Do you want to give me either intimidation or credit rating?
Fucking credit rating
Yeah,
all
go
the
for
way. It's Seb is not intimidating in like an intimidating sense, but he is like, I have the
Yeah,
backing
you know
of money.
people. Hell yeah. It's all good.
Can I push it? Do I?
You could, yeah, you could say, and I've read your badge, mate, and my uncle is the king of this place, and I'll get you fired if you don't pull your head in.
What am I risking if I do that?
Pissing off this guy, and he's your security, so I wouldn't antagonize him.
Failure just means they're not going to take it super seriously.
Failure just means they go, look, they'll say, we take all, things seriously. We'll keep an eye out for him. Mr. Laszlo is in a different section. When he comes in, we'll have a word with him. So they say they'll look into it, but you get the impression they're not exactly... Yeah, they'll look into it. You have said that. You've said I've been threatened by another student. That is a real thing, so they'll look into it at least. But there's only a level.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
That's
All right.
fine. I'll accept the not immediacy of things.
No worries. You had to do that. Katie, you dart across campus to the science annex, and do you want to go down and speak with Learmonth directly, or do you want to just get a message to him?
If I could speak with Learmonth directly, I will. But if he's not in, I shan't.
Sure. You head down, and you have permission to get down there, so you knock on the door, and when it opens, Learmonth is prepping for classes and things, but when he opens the door the full way, you can see that William Noakes is also inside the room, just towards the back, and when he clocks you coming in, he just raises a hand and goes, "Hiya, Katie."
Hi, Professor, could I speak to you for a second?
Yes. What can I do for you?
Privately, if that's all right.
Oh, sure. William, I'll be right back. And he steps out in the hallway with you, closing the door behind him. Yes, Katie.
And I will quickly apologize to him. I say that I've had a family emergency, so I can't make it to our meeting today. But that he shouldn't worry, and that I have put steps in place to recover everything, and that I will be able to update him on all of my research shortly, and I'll organize something the next few days.
Okay, this is quite serious, Katie. If you can't speak to me this evening, please come by make some time after class. Let's talk this afternoon. I don't want to put you out or anything, but this is very serious.
I understand.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. No roll needed. You delay the meeting. That's all good. But he does definitely expect to hear from you soon.
Yep.
You head back up. Joe, are you a member of the hunting club? I think we said that you were, right?
I think we established that I am,
yeah.
because that would explain why I can actually shoot
and have
with relative proficiency. Yep.
So it's like across, like you have to cut across a couple of streets.
Yeah.
So let's say you have to cut across several streets of traffic. There are people going to work and stuff. It's busy. Things are moving slowly. It's frustrating. How is Joe acting as you head towards this? Are you like just making quick darts through traffic to get there as quickly as possible?
It's kind of like an icebreaker ship. just going.
They'll stop for you or you'll die, whichever happens first. All right, awesome. You make your way across, just a couple jaunt across town, and get to the hunting club. You flash your ID. You can check out weapons and things, but on short notice, it is going to be a bit of a deal. What's your strategy going to be?
First week back, want to make sure that I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna check them out. I'm just gonna, see if I can check out at least a shotgun or a shotgun rifle hunting weapon. Basically, rush week, first week back, things aren't. Classes haven't really stepped up yet. Want to make sure I get some practice in before things get really hectic.
Okay. So when you first ask for it,
if anyone requires an explanation, otherwise it's just signing. And
so when you first ask, they'll say you can sign one out and you can take it this weekend during a like in a lab period, or if you want to get some practice in, you can sign one out now and you can head out towards the local range, but that's a pretty short window, and it's expected you like go to the range, which is an adjacent building, practice, and then come straight back, and any if you were found to be buggering off with weaponry, you'd probably lose your club membership. Or you could try and push the matter and say, no, I want to check one out now. I've got a short window, and I would need either persuade. I know something you're pretty good at, so I think that definitely suits.
Yeah, non-tech persuade. Just I don't, and it's it's technically true. I don't have a lot of time here. Short window. Busy
Give me a
lady.
gun.
I need it.
Okay, go for it. With a hard success, you can check out 2 shotguns. And you say you're meeting a friend. Okay?
Yeah. I'm trying to get it. Look, I'm trying to get somebody else to join the club. It's been a bit hard up for membership lately. Don't know why, but I might be interested. So. Well,
that is not an issue. You sign the paperwork. You are given 2 shotguns in cases along with ammunition, and you're to have it checked back in here later tonight. You do also carry a license with it when you're carrying them, and it proves your club membership and anything. And if you have any issues with police, you do that. You're also expected to not wield them in public or anything. It's for going
Obviously,
out and shooting. Yeah. But you're given those.
She would have grabbed a bag probably.
Yeah.
So it's not even just in cases, so it's not even obvious what they are. It's just in a big sports bag.
Perfect. Yeah, you break them down and then begin to head back into town.
Icebreaker back through.
Awesome. Lastly, Jackson. Eventually, you wait a little bit. Eventually, Higgins makes his way out of the bathroom. He was hugging the floor for a little while, but he seems to be a bit better. Chaz has been through, similar things before. You reckon he's in he's an alright period. He needs to get food or get back into bed, or else it's about to get a lot worse again. But he seems to be kind of with it for a moment. He's also probably still a little drunk. So he sits down on the bed and looks at you and goes, right, sorry again for crashing at your place, but I got.
No, it's all good. Look, we gotta go pretty soon. All right, we're gonna head out, but I need you to tell me everything you remember from last night. Something
Last
about
night?
being followed, being watched.
Did I say that?
Ah, god damn it, Higgins. Yes, you said it.
Easy. I don't know. Look, I went for a pint. I just went a drink or two at one of my uncle's places, and I may have gotten a little carried away.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need to know what you remember about being followed, being watched.
I just think there's people. I thought I saw someone watching. I thought it was one of my uncle's people looking out for me, and you know, I'm not supposed to be drinking or nothing. I was gonna go and head over to the Italian's place, but I don't know their entrance or anything, so I couldn't get in.
That's it. That's all you remember?
Yeah, why?
So
What do
why'd
you
you end up
remember?
in my room? No, why'd you end up in my room?
Oh, I think I saw someone outside my window, and I thought it was one of them.
Outside my window?
No, outside my window. One of my
Outside
uncle's
your
fellas.
window?
Yeah, sure.
Right. You
Yeah.
don't remember the face.
Well, no, it was dark.
All right.
Wasn't it?
Well, okay. I want you to assume that person who's watching you outside your bedroom window in the middle of the night doesn't have your best interests at heart, all right?
No, yeah, no, I agree. I reckon they're gonna rat me out to Dad, and then I'm gonna get
No,
friggin'...
I don't think it's any of those. I think it's the people from Cops Corners. I think it's related to that mess. all
Chaz,
right? They're
come on,
watching
you're
all of
not
us.
still on that sort of thing. Like, what happened, man? It's fine. It's sorted. They all came back. We're all good, right? You
I'm gonna
need
get
to.
right up into his face.
They
They get you too.
What? What do you mean?
Did
Did
they
they
get you
get
too?
me? I didn't get. No one got me. I went back with you guys. Everyone came
Psychology
home,
roll.
Chaz. It's fine.
Psychology.
I guess psychology roll.
Psychology.
Higgins is an idiot, but he's still Higgins. He seems to
Alright.
genuinely be shaken. But that's it. He seems to be trying his best to put everything behind him, and he's trying not to think about it too much. Because I talked to them. All right, they're kind of standoffish, and they don't exactly want to hang out anymore, which is shit. But I guess they're just pissed we abandoned them.
Go back to bed, Higgins.
Yes, sir. He falls on Seb's bed and grabs some of the covers and starts dragging them over himself.
All right, let's bounce.
All right, you head back out to the quad. The door doesn't really lock behind it.
Actually, honestly, Higgins in my room is a pretty good deterrent.
How's that for security?
Yeah, fucking fine.
There's a damn Irishman. You guys head out to the quad and meet under the bell tower. When Joe had the furthest to travel and is there first, having sprinted back and forth. And when you get there, she's got a bag weighty enough for weaponry. The four of you reconvene. It is still early. It's like students are just beginning to get out and go to places. You guys cracked through this. It's like 7:30. What do you want to do?
I
We got a car or we need a taxi? Because I know a guy.
All
I don't know how
right.
to contact him, but I know a guy, if that helps.
I don't know his name. I don't know how to contact him.
Look,
I'll just
I'm
flag
looking
up taxis.
expectantly at Seb. Have you got a car?
Let me handle it. I don't know that I had. Would I have?
Well, we don't want to be seen in a car anyway. Let's get a taxi. We don't want to be seen in an
Regardless.
identifiable car.
Seb would know how to get a taxi or a vehicle of some variety.
You probably have like a black taxi service that you can get in contact for like nicer cars and things and a bit more discreet, but they're just taxis at the end of the day. So, and for this sort of thing, a normal taxi absolutely suits. You'll be fine. You'll just need someone to be paid to wait. None of you would have direct access to cars, not here.
That's fine. Hail a taxi.
Whoop, whoop.
Slide in to the back, looking as Seb does, and just say, "We have somewhere to go. We'd like you to wait, and then we'd like you to bring us back." Do you think you can do that for us?
Not an issue if you've got money.
I just smile.
Okay. Everyone slides in, and you begin to drive off. As you leave, could I get everyone to please make a spot hidden roll?
Do we put Katie in the front?
Yeah, otherwise she gets car sick.
Yeah, I don't notice anything.
I do.
I really
Oh,
do.
hell
Yeah,
yeah.
we put Katie in the
Nice.
front.
Okay, there's gonna be a couple things then.
Nobody puts Katie in the corner.
One thing is you will see a car coming into town driven by Gibbons. and it deposits Terrence Laszlo on nearby. He does not appear to have spotted you. He gets out and begins to make his way across campus towards Roderick Block, who is waiting underneath one of the trees, and they seem to be going to have a conversation. Katie, with your extreme, you spot 2 black cars that pull out. They're not following you. They seem to have been following the other car from a side street. They come down and park, and stepping out from behind, like one of them is a huge dude in a too small suit with a flat cap, who instinct says Irish Mafia.
Okay.
And they appear to be watching Laszlo and Block.
Higgins' family has the same idea that we do, which is fuck them up.
That's fantastic.
There's like 3 of us that have seen this. Is an exchange of glances of like a, do we want to go and deal with that, or do we like?
I think.
Y'all need to see this.
No, I don't.
Well,
The taxi driver goes, "We going or we going?"
We're
We're
going.
going.
All right. You pull out into traffic. There's a huge flare. He roars out into traffic and immediate gridlock for a while, and then you get out of town and begin to make your way out. It's 12:20, so this is where we're going to park it. But as the car begins to drive out towards the rural ruined house, the 4 investigators are going to see what has happened to John Jeffrey and have a snoop around the abandoned home. Back in town, players are on the field and things are moving forward. Maybe they want something from the restricted collection. Maybe Higgins isn't completely full of shit and the Irish Mafia is involved. And all of these things we will need to answer in the new year.
And
when
the
we
prom's
return.
in 3 days.
And the prom's in 3 days.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. All right, awesome guys, well done. Oof, we got through a bit in that one. That was a bit of information. All right, cracker jack. Well, thank you guys all so much for playing, and thank you everyone so much for watching.
Dave.
Next week, Jim and I will be back doing a solo duo playthrough, I guess, of the RuneQuest solo quest. So come and check that out and hang out with us on stream and just, shoot the shit. Then the following week we'll be back to just run like a cool one shot or something where we'll introduce some chaos, and you, chat, will have the chance to make everything go awfully wrong as if we needed the help. Maybe you can make things go right. That'd be awesome. We'll just let them control the characters.
There was an excellent comment in chat about all of our successes that eventually that's karma, and we're gonna have to pay that back.
I just wrote that you guys had a monster session as far as successes. Chaz didn't fail one doing his ninja shit.
To
down
be
there.
fair though,
spending
we
a
are
lot of love.
That is true,
counterbalancing
that is true.
17 fails in a row that we had on one of our
That was a
one
great
shots.
one.
Like,
and
we've
also just in
had
general, I think we fail a lot. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you all. We will see you next week.